Should you be in a position of being more fluid and flexible? Or do you need to focus on being a little more solid and perhaps even a little bit stubborn? Probably best to take a mixture of both of those and be flexible and solid, be fluid yet solid. What do you do when your external source of stability is shaken? Well, what you can do when you don't like the situation that's unfolding around you is to learn to work with the situation that's unfolding around you. You see, we can't be in control, with the exception of being able to be in control of how we respond to the situation that we're facing. Now, I'm not telling you that your sense of external stability is going to get completely shattered or turned upside down and that you're going to be in an unstable position. No. Don't read into my words. What I'm telling you is that you're going to find a place of stability within yourself so that no matter what happens externally, you're ready for the changes that are taking place. Even if those changes completely catch you unaware and in a state of unreadiness. Because at the end of the day, you really can't plan for the wild card factor. And this particular solar eclipse, which takes place on the 30th of April, is happening in close proximity to Uranus in Bharani Nakshatra at the same time that the new moon solar eclipse is also in Bharani Nakshatra. So some changes and even some radical changes are definitely in the works. But at least if you're expecting the unexpected, then you're in a position where you can deal with it. Here's what's going on for you and likely what you're feeling in the days leading up to the solar eclipse, along with some advice of how to deal with this particular energy. Well, first of all, I want to say to you that this is going to impact everybody's life in a different area of their life, and a lot of this is dependent upon where the eclipse happens to be falling in your horoscope, planets that it's forming aspects to, so many different things. If you'd like a personal understanding of what the eclipse is about for you, I would recommend scheduling in one of my Empower Hour sessions, which you can find linked above. So it's likely that you've been looking to make a desired change, right? You've been needing a shift because what you've been feeling is that an old structure in your life is rapidly beginning to diminish. Okay, maybe that's putting it politely. It's falling apart. It's dissolving. And you've been knowing that that has been dissolving for a while. It's a structure, so to speak, that you used to find a great degree of security in, but you're recognizing that it's not likely going to offer that for you anymore. So you've already been focusing your attention on the factors that need to be changed, and you're actually feeling pretty passionate about creating this change in your life. You are looking forward to it. You know that it's going to bring something much greater into your world, so to speak. So you've been ready for it, and you've been pushing to create this change, only it hasn't really been happening to quite the extent that you would like for it to. So you've been trying a little harder and pushing a little harder and perhaps getting a bit concerned about where things are going. And you've taken the approach of just going, right, I'm just going to put everything that I'm concerned about to the side because I don't have the time to focus on this situation, on the feelings that are going along with the changes that I'm trying to create, but equally meeting resistance with. So I have to put that to one side and just get on with things. With that happening, that's never a good thing to do. I'll tell you why, right? A lot of times people like to use these words like, oh, well, it's a jungle out there, or it's a dog-eat-dog world. And it kind of puts a twist on the concept of sensitivity and, yes, vulnerability, to make it sound as if it's something that's not a good thing. But what gets forgotten with those types of statements, like, it's a dog-eat-dog world, people are putting their sensitivity to the side. Well, dogs are a little more sensitive, in my experience, than, some humans are. So I've actually seen that happen. And in general, animals are very sensitive because they tune in to what's going on in their environment. They use their instincts. So it's never such a good thing to just take all of that openness, even that vulnerability, and put it all to the side and try to armor yourself against a situation. Because when that happens, in most instances, you're shutting down your intuitive faculty. You're no longer open to what's coming along. Instead, you're shutting a door on something and inviting somebody to come along and go boom, 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 and knock down that door and burst their way in. And so it looks like around the time of the solar eclipse that something is happening that comes along that's unexpected and actually begins to carry you in the direction that you're trying to establish, only not in the way that you were looking to establish it. It may even manifest itself in a manner that you're going, well, this isn't the way that I wanted. I want it this way. I don't know how I'm going to cope with doing it this way. Trust. Okay, this is where the solid energy comes in. And equally where the fluid energy comes in. We like to be in control. We like to think, okay, well, this is the way that it needs to go, because this is the way that makes sense. Obviously, if you put A and B together, you get C, right? So, why put A and B together and get X? Because we don't live in the type of world where A plus B equals C. We live in a type of world where something can come along at any moment and you need to be ready for it. Now, that's not a negative thing. It's only negative in as much as the fact that we like to have complete control over the way things unfold. But you don't have that complete control. So you can make plans. You can begin to move yourself in a certain direction, but be open to other changes that may come along. They may not fit in with your game plan. You may recognize, okay, right, I've been looking to put this together in a manner that seems a little more concrete, it seems a little more solid, and yes, seems a little more safe. Only thing is, you're likely going to find a situation comes along that goes, here's the situation, here's a change, you're going to be doing this much more quickly than what you thought you were. You're going to be making those changes in a manner likely where you were a little unprepared to make those changes. But that's a good thing, especially if you develop what I was saying to you at the beginning. If your external structure of stability is seemingly being challenged, maybe shaking even a little bit, if you go to that space inside of yourself that goes, I expect the unexpected. I trust that whatever situation unfolds, I have the strength inside of myself to confront it. You're going to be going places one way or the other. So you might as well open yourself to the road that's opening in front of you, even if it's a course of action that you're completely unfamiliar with. Even if initially you find yourself in a position of going, well, now I don't have a sense of direction. My inner compass is kind of thwarted. Even if you find yourself in that position, don't go into the obvious reaction. Don't go into the obvious reaction of going, okay, well, I have to be strong and push through this and armor against anything that can come my way, right? Or maybe I should say, that's likely going to surface for you. But as that surfaces for you, remember the other positive side of your sensitive self, right? So what do I mean by that? Let's go a little more deeply into that concept. So when you feel somewhat vulnerable because a situation has come along that you weren't quite expecting, open yourself to the situation in an even deeper manner rather than shutting yourself down and going, must find a direction. Instead, let the direction unfold. It will become clear. You may feel like there's a point to prove. You may feel like your honor is at stake, but more honor is gained through humility and awareness of the situation and taking the next step in complete openness as it unfolds. And if you could use a little bit of help with this process, please remember I do offer astrological consultations. My all new Empower Hours offer you an empowered look at the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse, and yes, beyond. And if you want to schedule those, you can do that through the link you'll see above. That's going to do it for this look at the new moon solar eclipse that takes place in Bharani Nakshatra, taking place on the 30th of April 2022. Until next time, please do take the very best care of yourself. Bye now.